America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Yeah, Mr. Marcus, who was supposed to speak under item 2, has not made it here yet. He's from outside the area. He may get here later, so we can just bypass that for the
All righty. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from our last public business meeting?
So move.
I guess I'll second that.
You
All in
better.
favor?
Aye.
Mr. Rudd has an announcement.
Oh, yes. This is a statement regarding the closed session of the County Commissioners held on Thursday, September 29th at 3 o'clock p.m. in room 408. This is a notice required by the Open Meetings Law. The Board of County Commissioners at a meeting convened on Thursday, September 29, 2016 at 3 o'clock p.m. voted unanimously to go into closed session. The meeting time and place and the purpose of the meeting were provided in a public notice distributed on September 27, 2016. The notice was provided in the same manner and also to the same entities as received the Commissioners' regular business meeting notices. The meeting was closed in accordance with the General Purpose Provisions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, Section 3-305, and the purposes for which the meeting was closed were as follows. Number 1, to consider a matter that concerns the proposal for a business or industrial organization to locate, expand, or remain in the state. That is under Section 303-305B4. To discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom the board has jurisdiction. That is under Section 3-305B1. And consultation with counsel to obtain legal advice concerning the matters referenced in 1 and 2 above, and that is under Section 3-305B7. The Commissioners first discussed the intention of a company to potentially locate it in a building owned by the county in one of its industrial parks. No action was taken by the Commissioners on this particular matter. The Commissioners also discussed a personnel matter concerning a contract between a county employee and Allegany County, and further discussed possible methods of filling a vacancy in a county management position. The Commissioners voted unanimously to direct Administrator Eberly on how to advertise to fill the vacancy. There was no further business to be conducted in the closed session, and therefore, upon motion by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine, the Commissioners voted unanimously to adjourn the closed session at 4:15 p.m. Those persons present during the entire closed session were Commissioners President Jacob Shade, Commissioner Creed Brody, Commissioner William Valentine, County Administrator David Epperly, County Attorney William M. Rudd, and Recording Secretary Cindy Young. Present only for discussion of the first item was Jeffrey S. Barkley, Economic Development Specialist. Present only for discussion of the second item was Brian P. Westfall, Director of Human Resources.
All righty. Thank you, Mr. Rudd. Item number 1 is our election update. Ms. Diane Lobel.
Good evening. The deadline to register to vote for the upcoming presidential general election is October 18th at 9 p.m. And this is also the last day to make changes to voters' registration. However, if you can't get registered by the 18th, then you can go to the early voting center only and bring a document to prove your residence. And this can be your driver's license, a change of address, an MVA ID card, utility bill, bank statement, or other government document. And you can go ahead and get registered during the early voting period only. Early voting begins on Thursday, October 27th, running through Thursday, November 3rd, right here in room 100 of the county office complex. And the hours will be from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. General Election Day is Tuesday, November the 8th, from the hours of 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Diane. Skipping ahead, item number 3, we have a public hearing on Code Home Rule Bill 5-16, LaVale Sanitary District bond authorization. Mr. Bennett.
Good evening. Well, as you remember, last week we introduced this Code Home Rule Bill for $978,000 bond with USDA and interim financing for LaVale Sanitary. Just as a reminder, this isn't county debt. We simply have to guarantee the debt. It's LaVale's debt. It's part of the ongoing Mechanic Street project for them. What we're hoping for tonight would be to do the hearing, and if there's no comments, hopefully go ahead and have the two of you take a vote tonight so we can keep this moving along. If that's the case, the bond bill will become effective November 20th. Hopefully we'd come back shortly after that and close on the interim financing for LaVale. Money will go straight to LaVale and help them out in this project. So
Great.
first part is a hearing for any kind of comment from either you or the public.
Is there any public comment? All right.
And then if you're so willing to take a vote.
I move that we accept this bond bill.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Jay. All right, moving to our action agenda, we have Greater Cumberland Speed Raceway update. Commissioner Valentine.
Yes, I see we got a lot of racing fans back here in the back. Todd, would you like to come forward? No, okay. Well, as everybody knows, we thought we had a promoter for the racetrack last season. That fell through. We had a study done on the fairgrounds and the consultant suggested removing the speedway, which upset a lot of people. I've been involved for the last 4 years trying to find a good promoter for that racetrack. I'm a former racer myself. I know what a benefit that racetrack can be. We saw there's a strong public support, and we have a gentleman, Mr. Todd Brode, has stepped forward. All we have to do is put our John Henry on a contract, and he's ready to start work on that speedway this coming weekend.
There we go. Best of luck to you, and I'm sure I've heard only good things about you and the organization you've been working with.
So I make a motion that we accept and sign the contract.
And I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
See, this is easy with two people, It's
What do you mean by that?
That's right. All righty. Next on the agenda, we have Mr. Roy Cool. It's a fiscal year 2017 operating grant agreement.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is simply the annual funding for both the transit and our all-trans system for the operations, and it's for the current fiscal year.
Great. Any discussion?
I make a motion that we accept this.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roy. Moving to our consent agenda, Mr. Eberly.
Commissioners, today we have 2 items on the consent agenda for possible action. Item 6 is a motion to approve the purchase of a new dump truck from Beltway International in the amount of $132,068. Item 7 is a motion to authorize the receipt of grant funds from the state in the amount of $9,300 for off-duty overtime for the Sheriff's Road Patrol for both traffic and sobriety checks on state highways.
Great. So every meeting Creed isn't here, we vote on dump trucks and things he likes. So I make a motion. That's right, yeah. We'll have to mail it down to him.
I'll second that.
Tennessee. I make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as it is.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Mr. Rudd.
Nothing.
Mr. Eberly.
Commissioners, I'd like to take this opportunity to announce this evening that I will be taking steps in the coming months to restructure the county's Department of Economic and Community Development. This restructuring will involve existing and new personnel. For background purposes, 18 months ago, the county lost its senior project manager in the department due to retirement. And since that time, Matt Diaz, the department director, has been juggling a number of additional responsibilities. Principal among those duties is the day-to-day responsibility to manage every aspect of 1.1 million square feet of facility space spread among 8 separate buildings throughout the county, and the responsibility to manage approximately 800 acres of industrial and business park land. Combine these duties with a full schedule of business retention activities. What has been outlined is simply a full plate for any one person. Following months of extended discussions and careful evaluation, Matt Diaz has opted to continue overseeing the county's property and lease management duties in the future, However, he will be stepping down as director of the department on November the 1st. The county will begin the process of advertising for the vacant position in the next couple of weeks. It's important to note that the department will remain under very capable leadership as Jeffrey Barclay, the county's economic development specialist, will serve as the acting director of the department on November the 1st. For those who might be interested, I have a press release available. Thank you, Commissioners. That's all I have.
That's all. Commissioner Valentine.
All in all, it's been a pretty good week for Allegheny County. Monday morning, I had a meeting with Sheriff Robertson, Barb Buell, Ron McCory of Delfest, Stan Strickland, who's the promoter for Delfest, and the folks at Delfest want to help fund the sheriff's programs on opioid abuse here in the county. They're a group that gives back to the county and gives back to the county quite well every year. So that'll help the sheriff with his programs. Then a little bit later on the day, met with Todd. Between himself and Dave and I, we worked out a few little glitches, answered a lot of questions, and now we've got a signed contract for racing to begin at the fairgrounds next year. Also on Monday, I had lunch with a gentleman by Mr. Marcus, who had hoped to be here today. This gentleman's opening a private nursing assistance school in downtown Cumberland. This is going to fill a real void we have. These people that go through his academy are the people that go into the home of elderly people, help them take their medication on time, make sure they take the proper medications. This is something that there's a huge need and demand for in this area. Then on Wednesday, made a contact with a gentleman, can't say too much about it, but definitely wants to do a rather major economic development project here in Allegany County. I gave that information to Jeff Barclay, who has already followed up on it, and we hope to have more to say about that as that comes along. Also, I think it's important. Yeah, everybody always seems to complain that there's no jobs available in Allegany County, and if there are jobs, they're no jobs that are going to take you nowhere, jobs that don't pay very much. Well, on October 13th, which is next Thursday, at 9 a.m. till noon, there's going to be a job fair. It will be held out at Allegany College, and there's over 50 companies looking for employees at this job fair, and some of these go-nowhere jobs would be with Allegany College of Maryland, Allegany Health Nursing, Devlin Manor, Eggle Nursing Home, the Federal Correctional Institute, just a long, long list, over 50 employers looking for employees in this county. So I don't want to hear any more about there's no jobs available. And if I could now, Mr. Marcus just showed up, please come forward.
Great.
Tell everybody a little bit about what
Good
you
evening.
got in store for Allegany County.
Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adair Marcus, and we have a program which is a 4-week program to train nursing assistants, and we're going to be located at 138 North Mechanic Street. Our program is very short. It is just 4 weeks, and you come in, you can get training to become a nursing assistant. As a nursing assistant, you can work in the hospitals, in any healthcare setting, just in 4 weeks. Also, we train medication technicians, so we teach you how to pass medication anyway, especially with the geriatric population in the assisted living, particularly, or in the prison setting. You can take that class too. And they will also offer CPR and first aid training. So our program is very short. Not only that, we have another company within our organization. We do healthcare staffing. So we can staff you, help you get a job when we train you to work with elderly in the community, or also go to work in a nursing home as a nursing assistant or as a sitter. also, while you are doing, you don't even have to be in the class to have that, have an opportunity. We have people coming, we need help, we match you with the best candidate, so you can go out and get a job. If any question, I can answer if they give me the opportunity here. Oh. Hello, again. You hear me? All right. My name is Ade Marcus, and we have a program, and we train nursing assistants. Our program is a 4-week program, and we offer day and evening classes. As a nursing assistant, you can work in a hospital as a tech. You can work in the community with elders, bathing them, assisting them to the doctor's office. You can work in a group home settings as an aide. You can work in the nursing homes, pretty much everywhere. In the doctor's office you can work, because we teach you how to do blood pressures. We teach you how to bathe people, to dress them, to recognize the care that the elderly need and the disadvantage in terms of the vulnerable population, the young and the very old.
Right.
And then we teach you how to pass medication, because as you know, in the state of Maryland, you cannot work as a medication technician without having the license to pass medicine. You cannot even give eye drops without having the certification. That's the proper way to do it. You have to have the certification. As a nursing assistant in the state of Maryland, you cannot even bathe somebody, not to talk about dressing somebody without a license. You need to get a license in order to get paid for those services. So we can train you as a nursing assistant just in 4 weeks.
Great. Mr. Marcus, thank you, and we appreciate it, and we look forward to working with you. Commissioner Valentine speaks highly of you and your operation, so, and we'll have time afterwards if any of the people have questions. You can talk to them then.
Thank you.
All righty?
All right.
Thank you. Just a few things. We had the Deputy Secretary of Transportation up here today, and it's just a complete 360 from where we were a couple of years ago of banging our head on the wall when it comes to state highway and dealing with the state of Maryland. The Hogan administration has just been wonderful to work with. We've seen projects come through the pipeline that took years oftentimes. And so that's kind of what we saw in LaVale. And so they were here. We discussed our issues with them. The governor's coming here next week, next Friday. So it's a far cry from the days when Allegany County was just someplace on the map 2 hours away from everywhere. So it's very nice to have some friends in Annapolis, and we look forward to using those connections for the best of our abilities. With that, I do have one question tonight, and it's election themed. It's a little bit of trivia. So since the Civil War, we're going way back, Allegany County has voted Republican 28 times and Democrat 7 times. When was the last time Allegany County voted for a Democrat for president? No cheating. No cheating, Bill.
That's Creed calling in.
Does anyone know?
I would guess 64.
64. Ron, what do you think?
I'm going to say 60.
60. Bill?
They voted for Glendenning for governor.
Well, no. President. And no one on I put this on Facebook earlier. No one on Facebook got it either. 1976, Jimmy Carter beat Gerald Ford in Allegany County.
Wow.
The last time. I thought you were going to say like Woodrow Wilson. That would have also been correct, but that was a couple of years ago.
Well, see, they realized they screwed up really bad that time, so it's never going to happen.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because of the election, we had our meeting this Thursday instead of usually the second Thursday. So our next meeting is Thursday, October the 20th. It will be in this room. And then in November, we will be going to Mount Savage before the election. So that's our next meeting schedule. And it's at 5 o'clock in this room, October 20th. Thanks. Have a good night.
There we go.
70.